This is the Neon Komorebi by Mozart set. There are 6 different vibrant neon colors that come in here. I'm going to be storing the package upside down, however, to prevent fading, as neon colors are not light fast and will fade with repeated light exposure, particularly if there's UV light. Artwork I make with it that I intend to hang on the walls, I'll expect to fade over time, and I'll probably place it farther away from windows and most likely under glass to make it last longer. This cute little hello there card explains some things about the people who made the paints and what to do, such as advising that you spray some water on it before using, which is what I do with all watercolors and gouaches in general, except for the most pre-moistened colors. In some cases there's a couple honey-based watercolors that I don't pre-wet, but everything else I pre-wet. Oops, I put it back in the box opposite and it looks terrible. There, that's much better. After letting it sit for a few minutes for maximum effectiveness, I swatch out these vibrant glowing colors. Once water's added, the true neon brightness is revealed. It's much brighter even than showed on camera, and will truly hurt your eyes if you're starting to get a migraine or are sensitive to neon colors at times. When I'm starting to get a migraine, neon colors actually hurt me, so I literally need to be careful with these paints and not look at them whenever I'm starting to get a migraine or a headache. But otherwise, I can look at them just fine. I'll ask you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you're really enjoying my content. Now I'm doing one of my now quite habitual circles with neon colors. I meant to do 2 when I was supposed to give away, but I'm going to have to do that one later because I forgot and just got to work on the one in my book. I am still considering cutting the pages out of this book and re-gluing them as a perfect bound, but in the meantime I'm happy to use the bulldog clip. As you can see, I'm adding more and more of one color to the other so that I can go around between the colors and make a perfect circle, showing how the colors mix and blend. You can in fact mix more colors with them. I don't show all the possibilities here, I'm just going around in a circle. I might do a different circle with these same colors in the future, but it does give a good impression of what you can mix. Some of the colors you can mix are particularly useful, like the neon golden yellow between the orange and yellow. The neon yellow green, there's one between the yellow and the green I like. The neon turquoise color, though not as vibrant as I would like a proper neon turquoisey color, it's still actually quite pretty between the green and blue, and closer towards the red between the blue and the red is quite a nice magenta neon tone. Also between the pink and red you get a nice neon rose color, which is also potentially very useful. I have other neon paints from Paul Rubens, but I decided to get these because the price wasn't very high and I really wanted to test more. Here I'm testing them unsuccessfully on black paper. They are not opaque, which is good to know. I'll ask you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you're really enjoying my content. Now I get to painting this fish. I decided on painting a neon fish because that's actually one of the motivations behind me buying the neon paint in the first place. Even though it's not light fast, which I'm well aware of, I'm doing these paintings for myself and not necessarily for sale. And if I made them for sale or gave them away, I would definitely warn people about the lack of light fastness. I'm finding that if you keep things that aren't light fast at all in slightly dimmer conditions and behind glass, especially UV protective glass, they still stay good for a long time. As you can see, I let it fully dry before coming back later. Sometimes in the painting process, you really need to let things thoroughly dry for a length of time before coming back to it. Even though videos like these are sped up, you need to keep in mind that much more time is passing in real life and that you need to actually let sections dry before moving into the next one. When I did the body, I did a lot of colors wet on wet near each other and wet on dry near each other, specifically because I did want those colors to blend in with each other and merge a bit, because that's more of how the fish actually looked. But you need to sometimes realize when you come up against a border and you don't want to put new fresh paint right next to wet paint or they'll be bleeding and crossing over. That's when you need to take a break and let the painting thoroughly dry. I used some washi tape to stick things down, knowing that once I put it in a frame, the very edge of the paper won't be visible anyway. But I didn't want to waste too much of the paper's real estate. I let it dry thoroughly again before coming back again here. For this section of the painting, the only thing that remains of the neon is the eye itself. Everything but the pupil. I also use a little bit more of the neon just to add some other details later. I'm bringing in gouache. This is one of my 2 gouache travel palettes that I had re-wetted a little bit before. Sometimes it's good to re-wet paint ahead of time. I also have been spraying the neon Komorebi before I use them, which I find very helpful. Let it sit for a couple minutes and then go into paint, and it reactivates more vibrantly and easily. I'm doing a contrast. Duller, more muted greens and black tones in the background in order to contrast with the fish itself. I accidentally went over the neon section, so I quickly lifted out some of the gouache color off, which worked very well. The paper I'm using is Fabriano Hot Press 25% cotton, which is very good for lifting, but I do need to be a bit careful. I find gouache works a little oddly on this paper and sometimes requires a little extra layers to work well, but it still works good, just differently. However, I knew the neons would work absolutely amazing on this paper because I found watercolor itself works really well on this paper and looks extremely bright. So to show the neons to their best, I decided this was the right paper to use, and I continued to do testing and find how to best use my supplies going forward. I mixed a little bit of the dull blackish green gouache in with the neons in order to add some darker shading and detailing work here, just to add a bit of contrast. I didn't say I would only use the neon paints for a painting, because that's not really what I do with most art supplies long term anyway. I use them all together. Watercolor and gouache tend to be my favorite traditional mediums right now, and I do like to use them together rather than limiting myself. Overall, I'm finding these paints to be quite high quality. They work quite translucently, they work very well, and they mix very well in my opinion, especially for neon. And it's very nice to have opera, neon, glowing, fluorescent colors to get colors accurate. Just keep in mind they are not lightfast. After letting it fully dry, I came back in just to add a little bit of white gouache in for the shine in the eye and a couple highlights. I'm quite happy with the final picture, and I hope you enjoy it as well. So here it is. Once again, that's all for this video. If you like my videos, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to all notifications so you will know when a new video comes up. I aim for new videos every Wednesday, but sometimes life happens and things are delayed. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you with another one very soon.